What's good? It's Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joke, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. Today's gonna be a really good day. I think today's a really good day, and because I can admit I'm wrong with a smile on my face. You see, I'm the kind of person who, if we're in an argument or if we're having a difference in opinions, I don't mind if you can prove to me and in a calm, weird way that I was wrong in something. I have no problem admitting it. And what I'm wrong about today is talking about how these sports publications and these sports news outlets like, ESPN, Bleacher Report, NFL.com, any of these kind of places, they don't really watch or they don't really pay attention or really report on the Panthers with the kind of respect we deserve. Because, we're in a big market area, but not in a really big media market. So we don't really get kind of respect we deserve. We can go 11-5, 12-4. Even when we went 15-1, we didn't get any kind of real respect until we were like 11-0, 12-0. And that's just what it was. We can go back to that year, back to 2015. We didn't really get any respect until a week after we were already the only undefeated team left. And there were like 3 teams undefeated in like week 9 and week 10, I think. But this is about what most of you guys already know about, the NFL top 10 player list. And for the most part, this is just content for the offseason. These places, these news outlets, they do ranking lists. But this is still pretty interesting. And as most of you guys know, we've only had one player on the list so far, and that's Thomas Davis Sr. at number 73. And we've gone 48 spots and haven't had another player yet. So I was kind of starting to get worried, like, we're only going to have like 1 or 2 players on this list. Because if Thomas Davis Sr. is the lowest we go on this list, then we should have at least 3 or 4 more players still to come. Anyway, let's go straight on to PIP right now, man. Because most of you already know this, but we see here Cam Newton, number 25 on this list of top 100 players for 2018, which is really cool because he's only ranked above Bobby Wagner, who's really dope. And if Bobby Wagner's number 21, so we know who's higher than that list, right? If Bobby Wagner's number 21, we know who's higher than him, which means that's 2 publications so far that have that guy. That guy with 18 vowels, and you gotta buy a bunch of vowels for his name in Jeopardy. That's 2 publications that have him above Bobby Wagner, which makes it official. He's definitely the best linebacker in the game. But AJ Green, Patrick Peterson, and Travis Kelce, and also the bad thing about that is in the way that it's good that Bobby Wagner is at number 21 because we have a player who should be above him. If Travis Kelce's at 24, most people rank Travis Kelce above Greg Olsen, so I'm not 100% sure if we're going to see Greg Olsen on this list, which is kind of weird and low-key terrible. But I don't know if I would even put Greg Olsen in the top 20 players in the league. I'm not 100% sure, but he should definitely be in the top 100. This is a little bit weird to me. I guess because he was injured for 9-10 weeks last year. So never mind. That makes sense. Never mind. That makes sense. He was injured for like 9 or 10 weeks, so I guess they took him out for that reason. But if they have Aaron Rodgers on this list, then it doesn't matter. Anyway, but the thing about Cam Newton being at number 25 isn't that he's below those players. Is that he's above Matt Ryan at 29. And I've been saying this for so long. Matt Ryan is a product of Julio Jones and just all the weapons that the Falcons have. So if we can just for a second, look at Cam Newton's stats. I'm up on right now, man. Cam Newton didn't have the best year last year, but he had a pretty good one. We went 11-5. He had a completion percentage of 59.1. Touchdown to interception ratio was bad. Let's be real, bad. 22-16. No matter how you split that, those aren't good numbers. Those aren't good numbers. His long was 64. And he had an average of 6.7 yards per attempt. That's not good at all. Yeah, 6.7 yards per attempt, but 11.3 yards per catch per completion. Not the greatest. His pass rating was 80, and his QBR was 49.6 on the year. A 49.6 QBR is horrible. No way to split that. It's horrible. But where he did a lot of his damage was on the ground. I think he had 754 yards on the ground last year. He was almost a 1,000-yard rusher. And that was only on 139 attempts. So, we can talk about it, but he's a dynamic quarterback who I think he's more dynamic than Mike Vick was. Mike Vick was just faster. and a lefty, so you had to do a little more adjustment for your defensive scheme. But I think Cam Newton is definitely more dynamic than Michael Vick. Let's look at Matt Ryan's stats. You would think at a glance he had a much better season. I mean, look, he had 4,100 yards. He had a 64.7% completion rate. That's a strong 5.7 points higher. His QBR was 64.9, which is really good. His pass rating was 91.4, which is very good. Yards per catch is 12. Yards per attempt is 7.7. But his touchdown to interception ratio was 20-12. How do you have such a great run game and an amazing pass? You have amazing weapons around you. We can talk about we can line up the depth chart for the offense between the two teams and talk about it. But I mean, Matt Ryan had much better weapons in his backfield, crazier weapons out wide for him. Look, we didn't have our number one receiver in Greg Olsen for more than half the season. Our number one receiver in title was Kelvin Benjamin, and he was out of shape, lazy, injured, and let's be real, Cam got kind of television was looking at him like Kodak Black. So on those fade routes, so we had to get him out of there, had to trade him out. So we really had to deal with, we had Devin Funchess and so we can compare the two teams with their weapons, but I think it's pretty clear to anyone who watches the NFL that Matt Ryan had a much better supporting cast around him. We can blame it on Sarkisian, which I will. I won't put it all on Matt Ryan. I don't really like Matt Ryan that much, but I'm not going to say he's terrible. It's their offensive coordinator, and he's still there this year. So I don't expect very much more from him unless Steve Sarkisian does a 180-degree turn this year from what he's always been. We can expect the Falcons to not be amazing, or at least not their offensive attack to be amazing. But if you have Julio Jones and you can't get this man more than 5 touchdowns, I'm sorry. That's a failure as a quarterback. That's a failure as an offensive coordinator. And as a head coach, and as a GM, and as an owner, to not fix something along the line. But, like I said, man, Cam Newton being at number 25 on this list is great. But what do you guys think, man? Should he be higher? Should he be lower? Keep in mind, 22-16 is not great. But keep in mind, he had 754 yards on the ground, which makes him one of the top 16 rushers in the league last year. As a quarterback? He was beating out people's starting running backs. Let me know, should it be higher, should it be lower? Comments below, man. Or my Twitter at Shellitronnn. You already know, do that like button, bro. I got a button right here for subscribe. A button right here for you to watch more videos. Namaste. Back sooner than you think.